Alright, I'm back. If anybody hasn't caught this Bondo experience of doing ears on any of my other tapes or disc, I'll show you how to do it again. It's going to take quite a bit because the elk's ears are a lot bigger than a whitetail, so you just go ahead and get a good dollop in there. I usually buy this stuff by the gallon, but we had a bad year around here this year for fish, so I was a little short on cash and bought about a quart. So, and that's one thing as a taxidermist, you'll find out that you run short of cash once in a while. Get her in there and get her mixing up good. Make sure it's well mixed. One thing you don't want to do is have Bondo in there that isn't set up. That isn't pretty. That makes a hell of a mess. You just take and stir it around like your baking cookies. But most of you, if you've watched some of my other tapes, most of you know I'm a talker. I like to talk. I like to shoot the breeze with people. Some taxidermists aren't too friendly. They don't want to give up any secrets. I've got a friend, went to school to be a taxidermist, and he tried to get some help from other taxidermists, you know, bend their ear a little bit, ask for advice. There isn't one taxidermist that would give him any help. I thought that was terrible. The guy he wasn't going to steal anybody's business from him. You know, just take and bend that out. You got that in there. Like that. You see where that's coming out like that? What you do is you get rid of that. And you can do it on this one here. What I'll do, I'll just put a staple in that to hold that together, right at the edge. And that'll hold that together right there. I got one more other hole. Usually I plug those holes with a piece of dryer material, but I'm not going to have to on this. That's going to be a nice ear. See how that ear turned out? And I'll keep working it. You keep on top of these ears while they're setting up. Otherwise, once they set up, there's no going back. What you do is you bend this ear in half like this before you pull it out, and that'll create a nice little pocket for you to dump that in there, just like that. Almost like that anyway. But we'll go ahead and get that just like that, and then we'll dump this in there. Nice half in one ear, half in the other. And sometimes if I got other work going on, I'll mix up one whole batch, big batch, and do all the work at one time. But sometimes you got to work with this stuff kind of fast, and I don't like working too fast. Seems like I make mistakes when I go fast. Anyway, get that ready to go, and just go ahead and push that up toward the end. One little pinhole right there. You just take and squeeze that out, and when that gets ready to go, you can take a wire brush and you can get those pretty thin out to the edges. What you want to do is work that out to the edge. And let's get this out of the way. And what I do is I lay those aside like this. And I just keep an eye on them, because I don't want them dry with the bend in them, because if they do that, then you got to break them all up, take them apart, and start over. We don't want to do that. A deer, you can just leave it laid just like so. Just keep forming it as you go. Just keep forming that ear. There we go. That's going to be a good looking ear. And then when we get that on the form, so what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and use a real nice big chunk of clay for the ear butts. And that's something that you learn with time. You put some in. If it's too much, take it out. And it's going to take a pretty good chunk to do these ear butts on here. This isn't like a deer. So you're going to have about, I'd say 2 golf ball size, like so, right here. A little bit smaller than a hard ball, but that'll be enough to get you started anyway. Just figure like you're throwing a hard ball, only in about 3/4 size. Each one, each 2 of those. I buy my clay at Hobby Lobby. I used to have it shipped in, but shipping got so much that I waited until I went down to the bigger cities. I got two of them about the same size right there. That'll be my earbuds. I'll put those in the ears. I'll get the clay out of the way. We'll wait till this thing sets up. Starts setting up, we'll put a couple staples in there to hold her together so she doesn't drum on us. You'll never see those staples after they're in. So because you paint the inside of that ear. That's a nice elk. Guy killed it out in Montana. We'll get him on there. Always look around, find something hanging here, like when you flesh a hide, you always have a little something hanging off the edge. Just get rid of that stuff. Anyway, this isn't a job for a starting out taxidermist. You can try it, but it's a little bit much. It's a big job. They aren't bad to do. I like doing them. I like doing big animals. Like I say, it might be a little much for a beginner. Now that's just starting to set up a little bit, so you want to make sure that isn't in a position that you don't want. Just make sure you got a nice crisp edge on that edge. And it's out just a little bit. You can see that. It's just out just a little bit. And that's going to make a nice ear. And we'll lay those back on that bugling elk. When you see them bugle, their ears are back. They're not in the alert position. We'll go ahead and press that down there on that one. Do the same thing. We're getting that. That's looking really nice. So it's amazing how much an animal can move their ear. I guess when your life depends on it, you better be able to move her, huh? Anyway, we got the ears are done. They're going to be ready to go here in a little bit. And then I'll set the elk back up and we'll get back to her.